Welcome in a new episode, and today we are with Conor Fürstenberg Stott, an expert in sustainable shipping practices and maritime operations with over 25 years of experience in the maritime and offshore sectors. In this episode, we explore whether autonomous ships pose a threat to the jobs of seafarers in the future, and the challenges that comes with these new types of vessels. So let's meet Conor. Nice to meet you, Conor. Welcome to this new episode, and thank you. And I want to ask you questions just about autonomous ships. Just what do you think about the future of seafarer with autonomous ships?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. So, when this autonomous ships have gone off the maritime headlines, but clearly people are still working on autonomous ships. And I think we have to understand the difference between an unmanned ship and an autonomous ship. And there are differences. So an autonomous ship can come with varying degrees of automatic operation. It doesn't mean that necessarily there's nobody on board. An unmanned ship is a very autonomous ship. And this is another degree. We have immediately a barrier with regulation. The IMO, the United Nations of the Sea, etc., does not allow for ships sailing around the place without any people on board. If I was like, I haven't actually talked to the main maritime insurance companies who insure cargo and who insure hull and machinery and who insure P&I. The P&I, protection and indemnity against large pollution and other environmental issues, for instance. I don't think we're very close to any of them agreeing to insure an international autonomous unmanned vessel. They're going to have a lot of boxes ticked. So people like seafarers should understand that this is a long journey. And so far I know of one cargo ship that is carrying, in fact, it's still not unmanned. I think the Yarrow at Birkeland, I don't think that ship's even yet unmanned. It's sailing around in territorial waters in Norway over a short distance. And then if you look at like the journey ahead is quite far, both technologically and from the business case point of view. Just insurance, for example, is very difficult. Then you look at how many people are at sea. There's, depending who you read and whether you include the fishing fleets and blah, blah, blah. You've got about 1.5 million people at sea, working at sea. That's something like that. Okay. And I'm happy to be contradicted, but it's not 20 million. It's not even 5 million. So what percentage of the global workforce is working at sea? It's very, very small. We saw what happened with the seafarers during COVID. They were just kind of told, well, you just have to keep on working. You're stuck on the ships. Keep working. Although they were the vital supply chain arteries of the world. And that's kind of the way it is. They're out there. They continue working, whatever. So to replace all those people, there's still a lot of people to replace. To replace all them with autonomous ships, when your ship is not necessarily easy to retrofit for unmanned operation and has a lifetime of 25 years when you build it, it's not going to happen overnight. So I don't think that there's a huge imminent threat. I think you're looking at maybe 2 generational change where for me, there was no question about seafaring jobs being out there with up and down. For your generation, there's now a bit of a question about some ships maybe start to be unmanned. It's probably more likely that your kids will be like, by now they've kind of unmanned 10% of the world fleet, and over the next 50 years, it's probably going to get to like 50%. And then you're like, I don't think I'll bother going for a seafaring career. I think it's more likely that kind of situation.
More like that, yes. Okay. But anyway, we have still a big shortage for recruiting new seafarers. So
exactly. A big shortage anyway.
So at least I want to say it's fine. But yes, I want to
maybe you talk to someone else who works in shipping automation. They'd be like, no. In 20 years, it's going to be 50% of the fleet will be unmanned.
No, it's thank you. It's very interesting, but I think about the autonomous ships, it's not very a big threat in the future. It will be more about sustainability first, then we have to work on this challenge. So thank you very much, Conor, for this interview. It was very interesting, and I wish you a very pleasant day.
Thank you. It was very nice to talk to you. I hope I was of some use.
Of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Maritime Vision podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode and gained valuable insights into the maritime industry. Be sure to tune in for our next episode, where we'll continue to explore the latest trends and developments in this fascinating field.